So I just made my last bit of pasta. Combine everything with a lot of many sweet peppers, red, green, and onions, and I added a bunch of cilantro and basil into this mix with salt and black pepper, obviously. Tomato sauce, tomato paste, and diced tomatoes. And boom, you have this wonderful masterpiece. It's a bit too spicy, which I kind of love and enjoyed. Only put jalapenos in this. And I forgot to fry broccoli. So next time I make this, I'll put broccoli in it. And it's a beef spaghetti. I tend to mix turkey and beef together sometimes, but I just stick to one so I can save the rest for later. And yeah, so this is a beef spaghetti, and it's really good. I surprise myself every time I make this because I don't really measure anything. It's like, pow, just chopping everything, toss it into the pot, and there you have it. So you're watching me eat this right now while I watch other things because I can't eat in peace. I mean, I can, but it's too quiet, isn't it? But yeah, right now I'm finding out scenes that I could like put together and make this new video I'm trying to put out, which is basically another crush video. Yeah, so I'm just trying to find ideas and like the scenes I can remember in my head and like relatable memes to somehow formulate some form of story that makes sense what I experienced in my mind. Because I like I said, I wish I recorded this stuff like earlier on in the year, but at the same time when I was younger, I would just say stuff without really thinking how the narrative should go, and I'm not sure what the lesson is because I'm just telling you experiences at this point, right? So I'm trying to like come up with a narrative. I keep saying that word. I'm trying to come up with a story and lesson behind it all, because there's a lesson somewhere in there. I don't know, but yeah, I was supposed to talk about like my third year crush or second year crush, but I realized that I can't really think of anyone in those particular year of that I had a crush on or something that's worth telling about. Like, obviously there were many crushes, many people you kind of like walk into here and there in each class because each semester lasted 4 months, so obviously it's inevitable to walk and meet people because that's the whole point of university, is socialize and social network, and you're bound to find someone you like. I mean, you might find a lot of people you like, but more interested in a romantic way, you're bound to find someone, you know, like it's, and obviously, even though it's Guelph University, it's quite diverse given the international students as well as like people from different parts of Canada, which is quite interesting in of itself, right? So, so yeah, this story I'm trying to conjugate right now is from first year. I did toss it to one of my friends of like, hey, I have 3 crushes. Which story fits best? And she told me that this one I should go with because there's more of a story behind it all. Because the other one's just experiences that every human kind of goes through with other human beings. You know, like it's nothing special, but it's just part of life. So this one in particular kind of is a bit personal because I actually was fond of this person and we actually had a bond, or yeah, had a bond. I'm talking in past, that's because we never spoke since that year, or after 6 months really. But yeah, if you would like to hear the other stories, I'm open to telling all the like experiences I can remember that were like just shocking to me in a sense, like like, oh, I felt that kind of thing. I'm willing to tell stories about that, but like there really are short experiences, like the moments where you got rejected by a girl, moments a girl gave you a number but it was the wrong number. Like we all been through that as a guy, you know. We got curved. That's the term nowadays apparently. We got curved, and that happens, you know. We curve them, they curve us. It's whatever. It's human nature. They don't like you because they don't like you in that way. But I can tell you all about that, my experiences personally, if you want. But let's see. I guess as a draft, I guess I'll practice how I'm telling the story, or tell you what who this person is. So this person's actually real name is Nina. Nina, the started with a D. I can't pronounce it properly. I do have her contact information from before. I still have contact information unless you change her number. But yeah, I do know her name. I can't find her on Facebook or Instagram. She wasn't really a social media person at that time. I mean, honestly, I just gave up. But I can look it up and see her name. I don't know what her name is based from. Like, it could be, I don't know, from Germany, Italian maybe, or Greek. I can show you guys her last name if you want, but it could be some random origin that I don't even know of. But the story is that we met her first year, my first year semester, and we took an art class together. And I like arts because it's something that actually prevailed through IB High School and it actually helped me succeed. So I was like, you know what, I like art, I don't mind it. It's the same amount of work, I don't mind it. Boom, went to university with it. Unfortunately, this was like a 3D art class. Apparently, for some reason, this semester they were starting on 3D. The next semester they did 2D. So we were working with a lot of modeling, a lot of models, actually doing practical models as well as, you know, software models, and developing structures and sculptures, as well as like developing like landscapes using Google Sketch particularly, I think. Yeah, so we're actually just building up schools, basically making 3D renders of buildings that we see and things we experience. So it was quite an interesting thing. The artistic behind it was really showing you and how we could like really see, you know, 3D models in basic everyday things, as well as how do you make art out of it. And one of the particular projects that I truly remember is two of them actually. Was that we were supposed to make a 3D sculpture that sort of represents, that we could put on campus if we were to like make one and like put it on campus. So I have a picture there. And then the other idea that was pretty cool was that we were supposed to take these 3 models, I think, and we were supposed to put them together, morph them together, and then after that somehow label each part and section and make a 3D model out of it. And that took some time. And yeah, I don't know what the point was at. But yeah, it was an interesting class. The lectures were completely boring. So you have one class that was lecture and one class that was practical work. And the lectures that were boring, the lectures were just boring. And I hated the teacher because he would just point at us to like, he would keep asking us what we think of this, think of that, you know? And like, as a first year art student, I don't know much about art coming out of like IB. Like, I mean, I do, but like, I never felt that sort of nerdiness behind art, you know? Like, I just appreciate it as it is. I never really, I mean, I did analyze a lot of art because that's what you had to do, but like, as a more person who's optimistic and curious, you know, you just there in the back sort of listening, because all you see is, for example, my painting right here is just a waterfall and trees. But then obviously you'll go into like the strokes, the color theory, the texture, the brush strokes, whatever shenanigans you can make up bullshit, and talk about like, oh yeah, each stroke is made of like a I don't know, a square or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, man, these guys, like some of these students were like way up in the league of like artistic value, and that's like the sort of people you sort of make fun of, or people tend to make fun of when they're like attending art school and stuff, because they know they're like way over their head in a sense. Like, they're smart, don't get me wrong, but like, I guess that's where the memes and the making fun of them kind of comes from, because some of those students were like that. They were like, what the fuck are you seeing, dude? Like, I guess we're just shallow and blind to everything, but really these guys were like saying such interesting words to describe a cube, for example. Like, it's a cube. Like, what more do you want? You know, like, how much more can you describe a cube? So it was quite interesting to hear these people's perspectives, and they were really close with the professor. I was not really getting close because like I was just like, sir, I'm just here to learn and listen. I don't know much about shit, you know? But he kept on calling on each of us. I was trying to, like, ignore him, not look at me, because I don't want him to call me, because I have nothing to say. Like, I'm looking at this painting, I'm like, bro, none of this inspires me whatsoever. You see this ugly ass shit? This ain't coming into my house. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so bizarre. And obviously it's famous because it's old, I guess. But I don't know. That whole class of itself just shut me down. And it literally killed my art enthusiast as a person. And I waited like 2 years later to like get back into it. But like, it really did defeated me. Like, it was hard. Like, the amount of work you're putting into is the same amount that you're putting into like bio, like sciences and like I don't know, math. But like, I guess that's how university trying to treat every project or subject as an equivalent, as I suppose. But like, man, you're doing so much work for nothing, you know? Like, there's no payoff in the amount of work you put into the art. Like, all this research you're putting into, there's no payoff at the end. Like, as opposed to psychology, like, you're doing all this research to develop something later on, you know what I mean? Like, there's some form of layer block. But you're doing all this art research just for the sake of your knowledge of knowing shit that no one really cares about. So it's just like, it's defeating in that sense, you know? Like, so much hours of work into like researching, and the way they want you to like format information and display to the teacher is just like so defeating. And yeah, I know I'm going ranting right now, but I'm just trying to like get the story straight in my head. Anyways, we're in this class. There's several classes in the same course overall, right? So they divide into our labs essentially. So I was put in this lab. I met cool people. I was like the only guy there, but honestly, everyone was welcoming and honest and earnest and super creative. I loved them all. I think I was the only guy. Was I the only guy? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was the only guy. But I met this one girl. And she was. These three girls were the nicest people I ever fucking met in my life, and they were so arty, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to describe it to you. They're just so artsy and fun. But like, this one girl was also in the shy end in a sense, but like, man, she and I became like partners and friends. Like I said, we were all noobs, so we just trying to make friends out of nothing, you know, right? Trying to bond and stuff. And I met this one person that we just happened to bounce into each other and get to know each other a bit here and there. Obviously, I went at that time, my first year, I was a very, very unstable, emotionless, weirdo guy, okay? Like, I still am, but like, in first year, coming off right out of high school, bro, I was still fearless, not giving a shit about people's opinions and shit like that. I'm not even about my looks, so looking back at it now, I may have come off as really, really weird to the point that she may not dislike me or didn't dislike me for the sense of like, for the class and stuff. Like, nothing personal, obviously, but like, she was just tolerating me in a sense, you know what I mean? She didn't really enjoy my vibe. Looking back at it now, perhaps, you know, but I didn't really try to be weird. You know, I thought we were just vibing off the bat, but there was a moment where I actually came in too vulnerable, and I was showing off like my drawings. Like, we just sharing each other's like drawing books at one point in the cafeteria, and I think I came off a little bit too weird in that moment. But I think after that we kind of like settled down and started talking to each other. But yeah, her name was Nina something, Nina D. Bolgi, something like that. I don't know, but like, she was beautiful. Not only that, she was super nice to me for some reason. I mean, we were nice to each other the whole time, but she was, I don't know, I thought we became friends, man. Like, you know that moment where you became friends with someone and then all of a sudden they start talking to you out of the blue, like they stop texting, they stop catching up and all that jazz. And that's what happened. Like, literally, I thought we had a bond, a connection, you know, friendship level, perhaps platonic at most, maybe romantic, who knows. But I thought we had something. Like, okay, this relationship could actually last until the end of our university years, you know, knowing that she's also trying to major in some science and minor in some arts as well. So I thought we connected at that level, but unfortunately, after our class and a month or 2 months later or so, she just stopped talking to me, and I'm not sure how. I wish I had the text. Like, after our class, like we just started texting each other more often. Like before we didn't text. It's only until our class was starting to end that we started got each other's number and we started texting each other afterwards, back and forth, back and forth. And it's not until towards the end that I think if I can recall the time, I could be wrong. I don't have our old text. I wish I had it and saved it just to show you our texts and like, did I say something wrong? Was there red flags in my messages that I did? I don't know, but the last thing I can remember is that she showed me, she was just ranting about some movie, I think, or show, I think. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. But she sent me a picture of her elbow. Or I think we were talking about, I don't know, I'm getting the events confused right now. I think we were talking about like our quirky, like double jointedness, and then she sent me a picture of her elbow. And literally quite like this. Like she just put her hand up like this and took a picture of it. And I was just laughing like, oh my gosh, she has a chicken arm kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the chicken popping arm that most women tend to have. But then maybe I said something stupid along the lines of the chicken arm. I can't remember. And then she sent me a picture of herself, which was, maybe I asked for it, maybe she just sent it without asking. Like she just sent a selfie. I was like, I'm trying to remember. Like I'm not sure how this conversation, like knowing me, right? Like I would have, like what would I have done? Like now myself, I would just be like, okay, ignore this pictures. But knowing myself back in first year, like, you know, you kind of like sort of horny, sort of like being charismatic, friendly at all times, trying to balance the scale all the time. So I may have said something kind of like annoying or inappropriate that made her uncomfortable, maybe perhaps. Or I said something that didn't mean the thing that she interpreted, which happens often. What I say or text doesn't really mean what I meant to say in real life, you know. So that happens a lot to me. Or maybe I didn't really vibe on her social level at that time. And all given, you know, this all happened during the nighttime as well, like towards the evening time. So that's like the last thing I remember. And I don't think I said so. I don't know what I actually don't remember. Like it's a blip. But I did text her a few times after that, but no response. And I think I called her once, and she never really picked up. And yeah, that happened. So yeah, that's like the story. I guess that wasn't the story really. I guess the story was that in moments in our art classes, we will sit next to each other, laugh, make music. Listen to music, and like just jump around and dance, because we had the whole lab to ourselves for like 2 or 3 hours. And as a group, we would just do fun activities in class. And yeah, and that was just a fun time. And I guess moments where she will offer to help me in situations of the projects, and I'll be like, wow, thank you. So me saying thank you, maybe I kind of, but she offered though. Maybe I was taking advantage of her help, and I didn't really give it back to her as a mutual respect thing. Maybe I'm overthinking things. I don't know. But she was willing to help me. I was willing to help her actually as well during our projects and research. And I think this one moment, this groundbreaking moment that I never thought anyone would ever do in my entire life. I had a trip. Oh yeah, this is the story. So I had a trip to go to Kansas Wonderland with my international friends that day. And obviously we had this big project I had to finish on that day. And I was like debating, oh fuck, which one do I go to? And I think because I told her that, I think I asked her or she offered, I don't remember the conversation, but I was just like double checking to make sure that, hey, are you okay doing this? Because she was willing to help me finish my project by herself. And I was mind blown. And that's how I think I fell in love with her even more. I was like, oh my god, this person is so genuine. And I know it's blind trusting someone I barely even knew for like a month or two. And this is one of our last projects too. And I just blind trusted her, right? Like she could easily just took my project, crumble it up together and threw it in the trash and destroy my whole fucking career in art class, right? Easily. But she didn't do that. She actually finished my project by herself. And she even had her project next to her. But I think she finished hers quickly because she did something simpler as well. But I was just like, wow, who are you? That's why I fell in love with her, because of that sort of gesture, I suppose. For guys, it's simple. You can do a simple gesture and they will just fall in love with you, you know what I mean? Like, simple as that. Like, hugging them, giving them a compliment, it would just last in their memories for ages to come. And that sort of gesture of her, you know, offering her help to help me out, because normally it's the guy that's helping out the girls, but she turned it around and helped me out. I was like, what? I love you. And man, I don't know how I fucked up the conversation. I just hope I don't know what happened, but yeah, she literally let me go to Canada's Wonderland with my friends so she could finish my project and her project alone. And I was grateful. I was thankful, I think. I should have, I guess, brought back a souvenir from Canada's Wonderland. I wasn't thinking like that, you know? I was just thinking, thank you, enjoy the moment. I wasn't really thinking about how could I give her back something, you know what I mean? Like, that never really crossed my mind until now, like, to have that mutual benefit, mutual response. But like, maybe I did take advantage of her, I don't know. But that was like the biggest gesture ever to happen to her. And I don't know, I guess I should have like brought back something. Should have brought her something in the mall, give her champagne, wine, chocolate, or something, man. But fuck me for not being more of a gentleman or more mature in that environment, because I was so nervous as fuck around girls at that time, where I was emotionally stunted, recognizing these like signals and like flags. But I still can't recognize them, to be honest. But it's hard, it's tough. But I wish I had that sort of awareness in that sort of environment, because I was a weird kid in first year. I still am a little. I like to keep the weirdness, but like I was super weird in first year, and yeah, it happened. But yeah, the lesson here, I don't know what the lesson is. It's just that, you know, just it's your friend. You know, you tend to like give back and give. You tend to like give and take, right? That's the whole point of relationships. Sometimes, like, you have that mutual benefit or trade, I suppose. I guess, and I guess I didn't really give that back to her, maybe, or I was inappropriate at some times, maybe, I don't know. I actually, like, I could tell you 98% of the time I wasn't inappropriate. I don't think I could have been mostly too much or venting too much towards her, because I was this emotional mess, missing my parents and family and shit like that. And I think that's why I love her, because she was able to listen and like relate to it as well. That's why I think we got along, because we're just sharing personal shit and just bonding over little things like that, to be honest. But man, she was beautiful too, dude. She was beautiful. Like, she wasn't like crazy hot, but she was beautiful. Like, she was like a rainbow, you know? Like, if I was having a rainy day and I looked up, I'd just see a rainbow, and that was her. Like, that's the only way I can describe this person, as a rainbow. And you just can't help, you know, like everyone in the world, you just can't help like look at it. Like, you see a rainbow, like, huh, it's a nice rainbow. You know what I mean? That's how she felt. Like, she just gives off those rainbow vibes, and like, it was just nice looking at her here and there. And like, she just gave off, like, she looked really pretty. Like, she had pitch black hair, pale skin, and like, she wasn't super skinny or super thick. Like, she was slim thick, I suppose. Like, she had the perfect combination of both. And yeah, she was funny and nice, dude. Like, I don't know how I fucked that I don't know how I fucked up, dude. Like, I always blame myself, because I know myself, just like, fuck, dude, you said the wrong shit at the wrong time, as always, you know, or you feel too much at the wrong time. It's always sometimes a game like that. And some girls are chill and casual like that too, but like, some girls are not. They don't fuck around with that shit at all, you know, like, fuck. And you just wish to give you a couple more chances of like, please, that's just not me. I came off too strong, I'm sorry. But I didn't do anything like that, though, you know. I was being a friend. I was literally making myself in the sort of friend zone on purpose, bro. Like, this person was just a nice person to be around with. Like, fucking hell. But Yeah, that's just one of those. Yeah, it's just one of those girls that sort of could have became a long term friendship thing, but yeah, she was cute. She was cute, but I don't know. To be honest, I never really felt a romantic sense out of her. Maybe if we spent a little bit longer time, it could have been more something like butterflies, romantic thing going on. But maybe I don't know how she felt, right? Um, but I'm just this is just my side of the story. How it approached. Like she didn't seem annoyed at all. Maybe she could have been annoyed, but like she was just humble and caring and kind in what we were doing, and I don't know, man. Like I don't know how else to describe this person. She was just amazing. Like she was a rainbow. Just that feeling when you look at the rainbow when you were a kid, and now that same feeling. That's how it felt like. Like that's how I felt like, bro. And yeah, I just wish we were still friends, but. But you know, at the end of the day, I guess this is the lesson. I guess the lesson is that, you know, actually knowing someone doesn't really mean anything because people tend to change regardless, right? So you could say that you really knew her, but people change. Things happen. So perhaps something happened in her personal life that I may have offended her or something in, perhaps, or that she got tired of me. She just didn't tolerate me and my presence. You know, I wasn't the best looking dude, but you know, you can't discriminate like that, man. Like, come on, I know I'm ugly, but I'm not that ugly. Come on, you see? Like, come on, you could. I know the halo effect plays into play in people's minds every fucking day, but like, come on, man. Come on, I'm not ugly, but come on, I'm not being mean to you. You know what I mean? Like, we're from good vibes. We're good vibes. I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying to be nice. I'm polite. Just vibe on the same level, mutual, no beef. But I may have sparked something. She may have just got tired of me, and yeah, that's a story, kind of. I need to tie it up a little bit more and make it more dramatic, but that's her. That's my first year crush, or at least one of them. There was a lot in first year because there were just beauties everywhere, bro. Like every single person that I saw with my eyes was just something different, dude. Like I was like, holy fuck. Like, literally the joke behind Dream University was, like, with my friends that I was falling in love with someone else. Falling in love with someone new every day. Meaning, like, I was just being dramatic, like, yo, I just fell in love with that girl. You know, when you see someone for the first time. But, like, you just instantly forget them the next few days, right? Or the next hour or so. But that's just me being joking around, like, yo, I see an attractive person. Yo, I see an attractive person. Because a lot of people are attractive, you know? But yeah, that's just one of the instances I kind of regret not knowing her more on a personal level because I think she knew more about me than I knew about her, and that could be of my fault for not listening as much or being self-aware as much. So I don't know. It's just something to think about, I suppose. But anyways, guys, talk to you later.